You've seen it, right? You're scrolling through listings and bam, there it is. A huge piece of raw, affordable land. And you start dreaming, building a home, a little cabin, a weekend getaway, something that's all yours. It feels so close, so real. But as we're about to find out, that dream can turn into a pretty expensive nightmare if you don't know what questions to ask. See, on one hand, you've got the vision, right? Your perfect spot, built exactly how you want it. But on the other hand, well, that's the reality a lot of buyers walk into. A piece of land that's basically a minefield of hidden problems. We're talking zoning issues that kill your plans before they start, or environmental surprises that just drain your bank account. And here it is. This is the heart of the problem. Our research points to this one single thing. Skipping your homework, especially when you're buying directly from an owner, is the #1 reason people end up regretting the whole thing. And that is exactly what we are here to help you avoid. So I want you to think of this as your map for a really important quest, the journey to becoming a smart landowner. We're going to give you the tools you need to sidestep all those hidden traps so you can come out on the other side with not just a piece of land, but with total peace of mind. Let's get started. Okay, so the main tool for this quest is a pretty simple but, trust me, incredibly powerful checklist. It's basically a set of questions designed to get to the truth about any piece of raw land before you even think about signing anything. It really just boils down to this: 10 critical questions. If you ask these 10 questions, you're going to protect your money and your dream. So let's dive into the first part of our investigation. All right, first up, we're digging in, literally. We're going to look at the land itself, its physical makeup, and its hidden history. You know, the stuff you just can't see by walking around the property.
This is question number 1, and oh boy, it is a big one. Look, the seller can tell you all day long about the amazing things you could build, but the only opinion that actually matters is the county's. So the real question is, what does the official zoning say you can actually do with this land?
And let me tell you, be super careful with the word unrestricted. It gets thrown around all the time as a selling point, but it should be a huge red flag for you. It almost never means there are 0 rules. The county can still have a say on things like how far your house has to be from the property line, or if there's a minimum square footage. The takeaway here is so important. Never, ever take the seller's word for it. You got to pick up the phone and call the county planning office yourself. Next up, you have to ask about environmental risks. Is this piece of land in what FEMA calls a flood zone? Are there protected wetlands on it? Answering this one question can honestly be the difference between building your dream house and owning a beautiful but completely unbuildable swamp. Now here's a fascinating one, and it's a question most people would never even think to ask. What was this land used for before it was just an empty lot? Because the answer could be hiding some really expensive and really dangerous secrets.
And yeah, this is what you could be dealing with. Your perfect property might be sitting on top of an old mine, or a hidden dumping ground, or even worse. These aren't just little problems. They are total environmental nightmares that can make the land worthless and maybe even hazardous.
Okay, so we've dug into the secrets of the soil. Now it's time to pull out the magnifying glass and look at the paperwork. This is where we uncover all the legal and financial stuff that's just as important but a lot harder to see. Here's an idea that shocks a lot of first-time land buyers. Just because you buy the surface of the land, that doesn't automatically mean you own what's underneath it. This is a big deal in states like Texas, Colorado, and New Mexico. It's called severed rights, and you absolutely have to know about it. So here's how it works. You might own the surface rights, the right to build your house, plant a garden, all that good stuff. But somebody else could own the mineral rights, which gives them the legal right to come onto your property and drill for oil or gas right under your house. And it's not just minerals. Water rights, timber rights, those can also be sold off separately. This next one seems so basic, but it trips people up all the time. Can you actually get to your property? A super cheap piece of land is totally worthless if you have to trespass across your neighbor's yard just to get to it. You have to confirm that it either touches a public road or that it has a legally recorded easement, which is like a permanent right-of-way. You know, that dream of an off-grid cabin, it's so romantic, right? But the financial reality can be a real shock to the system. Getting utilities like power and water to a raw piece of land is not cheap. So you have to ask yourself, what is it really going to cost to get this place up and running? And, well, these numbers tell the story pretty clearly. Hooking up to the grid costs money, for sure, but going off-grid has its own major expenses. A solar system is a big investment.
For a septic system, your soil has to pass what's called a perk test, which basically checks if it can absorb water correctly. But the real potential budget killer? Drilling a well. I mean, that alone can cost you anywhere from $5,000 to over $20,000. Ouch.
So even if there's no official county zoning, the land can still come with its own private rule book. These are called restrictive covenants, or HOA rules. They can be buried deep in the property's history, and they can tell you what you can and can't do on your own land.
Okay, we've navigated the land. We've gone through the legal docs. Now we're at the final leg of our quest, closing the deal with confidence and making sure there are no last-second surprises waiting for you.
We're down to 2 final, absolutely critical steps. First, get a professional title search. This is not optional. It is the only way to know for sure that the person selling you the land actually owns it free and clear with no hidden debts attached. Second, if you're doing owner financing, you need to read that contract like you're studying for a final exam. Know the interest rate, the payment schedule, and most importantly, the exact moment the deed to that property legally becomes yours. This quote just perfectly sums up everything we've talked about today, doesn't it? That great deal you found online can so easily become the most expensive mistake you ever make if you're not careful.
So here's the bottom line. When you're armed with these 10 questions, you're not just a hopeful buyer anymore. You're an investigator. You're a smart, confident future owner who is in complete control of the process.
And that's really the ultimate takeaway, isn't it? This whole journey isn't about finding the cheapest land. It's about finding the best value. It's about making sure you have the right foundation for your dream without any of those hidden nightmares. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. Is the cheapest land ever really the best deal?